So it was some 5 or 6 years ago when we had an erosional pattern return to the center that was here in the early to mid-70s. The suspected cause at that time was the breach in the south end of the South Jetty. I'm sorry, the west end of the South Jetty. At that time, the jetty was fixed. This center island was repaired. There was a nourishment project that went on, and the area accreted and accreted greatly to the tune of about 400 or 500 feet till sometime around 2009. That erosional pattern returned. When it returned, it was suspected that the nearshore bar, which causes that local reversal, that wrap that we have down here, that carries material both north and south, and it can be, the evidence of that nearshore bar and its effect can be seen if you look about 1,000, maybe 2,000 feet down the beach. You can see a prominent point that's sticking out with the water breaking around it. That's what's called a tombolo, and it's a tombolo effect. And as the wave energy hits that outer bar, it wraps around that outer bar and causes that prominent point, that sand that you see down there. What's happened most recently down here now, if we pan over here, is that the erosional pattern has shifted to now it's between Center Island and pretty much the Dartmouth area groin, which is about 2,000 feet to the south of us, the next groin down. And that pattern has been here now for a couple of years. It's caused severe erosion to the coastal dune, and it's caused failure of several structures. The most recent storm event has come back in, and whatever sand had accreted in here, it's stripped off and it's pulled away into the near shore area. Some of the protection that was afforded these homes came from these sandbag systems and the structures that you see behind them. These sandbags are the same ones that were used approximately 5 years ago over to the right here at Plum Island Center. They did a fantastic job of holding the center back at that time. The downfall of these bags is that they are a natural fiber, and at some point they're going to come away, and they end up rotting and they end up breaking down in the UV light. They're somewhat expensive, and they're expensive to maintain. They are easily maintainable, and they work fairly well. They did a pretty good job for us. These bags are made up of an outside layer of fiber that has, as you can see, the grid pattern to it. It's got about a ½ inch gap in it. How they're constructed is there is a trench dug in the ground, and there are plywood forms placed on each side of the trench. This fiber that you see on top is then placed inside those plywood forms, and added to that would be from 1 to 3 layers of a material similar to burlap. The sand is then placed inside the forms in the burlap, and it is packed down, and it's mostly packed down by foot. It's a very labor-intensive process. The material is then pulled up around it, and it is sewn with a mobile type sewing machine that looks, it sort of looks like someone took a sewing machine and a skill saw and hybridized the two of them. And they'll sew those up. Then the top bag's pulled around it. The bag that you're seeing is pulled around it, and it's stitched up with something that looks like a rather large marlin spike and cord. Usually they're square when they build them, and they pull the forms away. They take the oval shape that you see now. Approximately 2,000 feet behind me, you'll see where the beach starts to drop off and the water is reaching in at its furthest point. That's where our erosional pattern is centered now, and that's what's causing these homeowners their problems. That pattern is coming in and driving sand both north and south. And it drives it both north and south whether you're in a calm or an erosional pattern. If you're in a calm pattern, it's likely driving it north and south against the beach face. When you're in a storm pattern, it's likely driving it north against the beach face and then taking it out into deeper water in the near shore area when it takes material south. The sandbag, the remnants of the sandbag system that you see sitting in front of me were placed at the base of this hill prior to the storm. As you can see, this hill is eroded back some 30 or 40 feet from the base, and it's rather vertical at the moment for a sand dune. It is not likely to hold that position. It is likely to correct back as it dries and as we get warmer and things thaw. When you look up towards the top of the bank, you'll see almost a vertical 3-foot scarp. That is not likely to hold itself. That's not likely to stay. So this structure here, without some type of action being taken down here on the beach, is in serious trouble. A previous storm took this house and did damage the foundation. And it was picked up, moved across the street, and placed on pilings. The owner didn't have an opportunity to fill in this gap the way the other owners had. So we are seeking permission now to make a continual wall through here because we're experiencing a blowout in this area right now. Now, one of the reasons is that we don't have adequate protection here, and the other is that there was fresh sand just in here when the cellar was pulled out and mitigated. The fresh sand that was put in, it comes out quite quickly in a storm event. On top of this, if you could get up and see to the backside, the street is somewhere around 35 to 40 feet behind here. In that road is critical infrastructure for all these homes. The Newburyport Water and Sewer Project is right behind here, so it is imperative that that we take action to help protect our infrastructure. One of the factors that makes this a critical lot and a critical piece of property is the fact that approximately 40 feet beyond this dune scarp, west of this dune scarp, we have a street, Annapolis Way, and we have critical infrastructure in that street. We have a vacuum water and sewer system, and we have water that brings water to all these homes. The other critical piece here is that if you note the elevation behind us, that we drop off quickly to the west towards Southern Boulevard. Those homes on Southern Boulevard would be in extreme jeopardy were this area to breach.